How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. Over on Dixie for the daily, we are seeing a push forward. We did break that green EMA. If we can continue here, we could expect crypto to continue to sell off, as they have that inverse relationship. Our VWAP does have a lower high, but we have a higher low, so watch for a higher high from here. If we get higher high, then we could see Dixie push forward as momentum and money flow would gain strength. Over on Bitcoin dominance for the daily, we're pretty flat. Bitcoin and altcoins pretty much run line together, so they pretty much lost about the same percent. Bitcoin lost a little bit more, but dominance is still doing better. We have things like futures that account for that, so our stochastic is pulling back, momentum is dropping, that VWAP is breaking bearish, and money flow is pulling back, so dominance could continue to suffer. Over on total for the daily, we are trying to push forward. We tried to push toward the top of this channel that we had here, and we got rejected. That's why these support resistance areas are important to watch, and if we don't make a bounce off the 602, we could end up retracing back. We did make about half of the move forward for our double bottom attempt, so we did get rejected around that neckline area. Stochastic does want to pull back, momentum is rounding, that VWAP is breaking down, watch for a lower low. If we get a lower low, then momentum and money flow could start to break down from here. I don't know why this isn't going full screen. There we go. Over on the 4 hour, we did get a higher high and we tried to run up, but then we came crashing down, and now we're back into our pattern, so I would exercise caution and watch for a break of that support. Momentum is falling, RSI is pulling back, VWAP is favoring bearish, so watch this on lower time frames. Over on the 2 hour, momentum wants to break down, VWAP is favoring bearish. If that VWAP does not reverse, we could see that money flow go from green to red and give us further selling pressure. Over on the 1 hour, RSI is pulling back, stochastic is starting to round. That VWAP does have a lower high, so watch for lower lows. If we continue to favor bearish with that VWAP, momentum will continue to break down, and money flow will go from green to red, and we will see a continued push down. Over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, we did break above that support level. We tried to hold this point in control, so watch tomorrow's candle. It's going to be very important. We have a reversal arrow, and followed by a red candle. Then we could still see that push down toward that 57K. Remember, we do have that gap on lower time frames. Our stochastic is starting to pull back, momentum wants to round away. That VWAP is starting to break down, watch for lower lows. If we break that neutral and hold, we will see momentum start to sell off, and money flow will remain in the red. Over on the 4 hour, we do have a little bit of a rising channel that could be going on here, so watch out for that breakdown. Momentum does want to pull back, RSI is pretty flat, stochastic is weakening. If that stochastic does not reverse, RSI could bring price lower. VWAP does have a lower low, so watch for lower highs from here. If we see lower highs with this lower low, that's where we could start to sell off. Over on the 2 hour, we do want to make a rounding bottom. We are trying to break that resistance area, but we got rejected by it. So watch if we can hold this green EMA. If we can't hold these EMA levels, that's where we could start to test those supports and try to push lower. VWAP is trying to break bullish, momentum has a green dot as a result, suggesting that it wants to push forward. But if that VWAP gets lower high and then breaks back into bearish territory, we could still end up breaking down. So I would watch very close. This 1 hour has been bearish for quite some time now. Our VWAP is starting to favor more bearish. We did get a decent run up here on the VWAP, so that is a higher high with a higher low. That can help push us up. Momentum does want to gain strength, and money flow is pushing forward. But Bitcoin doesn't have the same outlook, in my opinion, here on the 1 hour, but we'll get into that. Over on the daily, we did try to get our break forward, and we kind of got stopped out at the same area we have struggled to get past, the 64,833. If we cannot get past that and hold, then it's likely we're going to break down. Watch for a break of the support level. If we break and hold, we will sell off. Stochastic does want to pull back, RSI is selling off, momentum is rounding, VWAP wants to break down, and money flow is still in the bearish pressure. Over on the 4 hour, we do have a red X that does want to bring us lower. Momentum is weakening. VWAP does have a lower low, so watch for lower highs from here. If we see that, momentum will lead money flow lower, and we could end up continuing to sell off. Over on the 2 hour here, we did try to run up. We stayed above our green band for a while, but then we rejected, and when we broke it, we fell under. If we cannot reclaim above these two EMAs, then it's likely we would get that rejection. Momentum does want to break down. VWAP is favoring bearish with consistent lows and a lower high. Money flow is bearish, so exercise caution. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic does want to round away. RSI is starting to pull back. That VWAP does want to break down. Right now it's favoring bearish, so I would exercise caution. These waves are more bearish than we see bullish. The bullish waves are very short, very weak. If we can't get a strong bullish wave, then it's likely momentum will remain bearish, money flow will remain red, and higher time frames would weaken. So watch that VWAP close. We do have higher lows trying to form here. We do have slightly higher highs, but again, they are weak and don't give us very much to stand on. Over on graph for the daily, we rejected our neckline here as well. So that's why those necklines are good areas to watch. If you're buying in at the bottom, hopefully you sold off at the neckline. Watch for how it plays out, and then you can get your second trade if we run up. Stochastic does want to pull back as the RSI is selling off. Momentum is rounding. VWAP has lower highs. Watch for lower lows that could bring money flow lower. Over on the 4 hour, we did break that support area. It's hard to see. That's like 18,033. Stochastic does want to push down. RSI is weakening. Momentum is rounding. That VWAP has lower highs and lower lows. If that continues, we will continue to sell off. Over on the 2 hour, VWAP is favoring bearish, momentum's breaking down, and money flow is starting to weaken. If we can't get back above that resistance, it's likely we will see this 2 hour flip. Over on the 1 hour, VWAP is starting to favor bearish with weak highs and a rejection of neutral. If this continues, it's likely we will continue lower and push toward our 16,316. Over on Ankr for the daily, we did try to break our 3079 again, and we got rejected. Watch for another red candle. If we get another red candle, we could confirm a rounding top to break us lower. Momentum has a double red dot as that VWAP wants to break down, and money flow is starting to break down, so we don't look very positive there. Over on the 4 hour, we are rejecting that resistance area. RSI is falling, momentum wants to weaken, and VWAP is favoring bearish, stochastic's coming down, and money flow is flat. If that VWAP does not reverse, that money flow could start to break bearish. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a reversal arrow that does want to bring us lower. RSI is falling as stochastic remains bearish. VWAP is breaking down, and our momentum is starting to break down. Excuse me, I'm getting hot and sick, so I need to take that off. So we are starting to see some bearish pressure here. If that bearish pressure continues, it's likely we would continue lower. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a gap to the upside though, so that gap to the upside can help us if we end up breaking down. Remember, that gives us an area to jump back to, like we had back here, and we jumped up back here. We did try to fill this gap when we broke down with this wick back here. So that shows how gaps fill, and Ankr loves its gaps if you want something easy to trade. RSI is starting to pull back, stochastic is starting to fall, VWAP is favoring bearish, momentum is breaking down, and money flow is starting to break down. We have lower highs, so if that VWAP and momentum continue lower, it's likely we would end up breaking down. Watch for that confirmation though, because we could gain momentum here. The rest of the coins do look a little more bearish though, and most of the market does move together. But over on XRP, we are still within our rising channel. Stochastic wants to break down. RSI is following. Momentum is running. That VWAP is breaking down, and money flow is holding bearish. If we do not see that VWAP reverse soon on lower time frames, it's likely we will break that 57. Stochastic is pulling back on the 4 hour. RSI is pushing down. Momentum is breaking down. VWAP is favoring bearish with a lower low, and money flow is favoring bearish as well. If that VWAP does not reverse, it's likely we will continue lower. Over on the 2 hours, stochastic is pushing down, RSI is weakening, that momentum does want to break down, VWAP is favoring bearish, watch for that. If it does not reverse, money flow will continue to weaken, and we will continue to see higher time frames weaken. Over on the 1 hour, watch this 300 EMA. If we can bounce around this 58,107, that could be positive, but if we lose that, that's where we will test our 57, and if we lose that, that's where our channel will bring us lower toward that 54. RSI is starting to push down, stochastic wants to round, momentum is favoring bearish, and that VWAP is favoring bearish as well, bringing money flow lower, and if that does not reverse, we will continue to break down. Last but not least, unless there's any special requests, we have ALGO for the daily. We have a long upper shadow candle. That long upper shadow candle, if followed by a strong red candle, could create a rounding top to break us down. Momentum is pushing forward, but that VWAP is struggling. Watch that VWAP. If it continues to get lower highs and lower lows, our money flow can break bearish, and we could see price action reject. Over on the 4 hour, we did run up above our EMA band, but now we're coming back, retesting it. Watch if we can make a bounce off that 1350. If we don't, then that's where we could push our 300 EMA and then try our other support areas like that 1175 and that 1032. Stochastic doesn't want to break down. RSI is starting to fall. That VWAP is favoring bearish, and money flow is bullish but starting to lose steam, so watch lower time frames. Over on the 2 hour, we are starting to round away. Stochastic's breaking down. RSI is following. Momentum's breaking down. VWAP's favoring bearish, and money flow does want to push down. So again, exercise caution. Over on the 1 hour, we have a bearish cross of our EMAs where the green EMA crossed below the blue EMA. If we do not rebound, it's likely that could continue to push us down. Remember, those crosses are lagging though, so when you see them, the move could have already been made. Momentum does want to break down. VWAP is favoring bearish and money flow is bullish, but it's starting to lose a little bit of steam. So watch that VWAP. If it does not reverse, that money flow is not far behind, starting to break down. And if it holds bearish, higher time frames will follow. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I appreciate all.